Okay, so I've got a kind of genealogy of boards that have are all the boards that have gone into this project I'm working on to creating a new deck. And over here at the very beginning, we kind of got the base inspiration that kind of got me into board building, and that was this board called Bluefish, which I have represented by this cardboard box because
the memory of Bluefish.
Because it's actually not here anymore.
It's been stolen. It must have been so good that somebody else wanted it, so that's always a good thing.
Yeah, yeah, that was the first board I made. It was just a flat plank of Baltic birch, but it kind of created a template of an aesthetic that I liked, I guess. I'll probably put pictures of it. I've got pictures of it. Its most definitive thing, it had color changing grip tape.
Whoa.
It was really cool.
But it did have some elements that have been incorporated into some of these other boards that we have here.
Now this board is Brownfish, and this is the board I rode for maybe 4 years, 3 or 4 years. No, this is fourth year, so I kind of rode it for 3 years. Now this board kind of established a couple of things that I really liked. One thing is, the main thing is it's got this, instead of a really rapid transition where you have your foot flat and you butt it up against the transition, the way I designed this is the transition is really long, and the place where you set your foot is on that transition.
So it's unlike a land yacht that has a really abrupt transition in the drop. It has a really smooth transition.
And the transition is part of where you step. It had that. It has these cutouts, which I really enjoy because they allow me to maneuver the deck with my feet, and they're just nice to pick up the deck. And it also established my preference for riding a drop deck.
With asymmetric geometry.
Yeah, with asymmetric geometry. So we built the press with this, and I built maybe 5 boards out of this. And then after making this board, we made some changes to the very same press and made it out of concrete, and we ended up with this board here. And this is the DH Custom. We ended up making maybe 25 or 30 of these decks, quite a few of them. It's essentially this. It came from the same mold as this one, just modified. And it's actually, this one was a 1-inch drop. This one was about just under a 3/4 inch drop. And it doesn't have the cutouts because this is more of a production board. And we didn't want to, I mean, the cutout really needs to be aware of the rider's weight. So we've just kind of omitted that at this stage. And this was really cool. This is a really cool part of the project, and it was really successful. The next stage was this board here. And this board is actually made by Churchill. And this board is based on this board. They took this board, they took measurements off of it, and
had a mold made, and then went to production and had hundreds of these decks made out of maple.
Yes.
But David, of course, was not satisfied.
No.
He wanted to incorporate more ergonomic features and explore more geometry on the deck surface.
So this is kind of the end of the line of this family here. So I started a project from scratch with a brand new mold this is going to be called the Braincleaner. And this is the first version of the Braincleaner right here. And what it is it kind of takes inspiration for everything we learned up to this point, but it's based primarily on the kind of the brownfish geometry and ideal down here. But what I've done is the kind of the focus of the Braincleaner project is to kind of give a much tighter wheelbase, introduce a kicktail and just fine-tune all the features that go into it and create a much more developed shape. So this board has a just under all the rest of the Braincleaner boards have just under 1 inch drop in the front and about, or in the rear, and about a 1/4 inch drop in the front. And they're really nice, and they're nice and small. I really love these. Next up, this is the 2D Plus board. This was a separate project from what was going on here, but it introduced this cut-in concave, and what that did to the board shape is it kind of created, I mean, a pocket where you stand that paralleled the concept of the drop and the gooseneck that I have on this project slightly. But the thing that was kind of unique about this was because the concave is cut in, the where you step on the board platforms isn't flat, it's more wedged up like this slightly. So we incorporated that as well as other features into the second Braincleaner prototype.
In the form of camber.
In the form of camber. And I don't know if you can see it, but it's got a camber in the middle, and it's got the curvature of the foot platform. So this is beginning to have much more of a dynamic shape. And then we experimented with the removal of the cutouts again, just to kind of verify the characteristics they contribute. And this is the third prototype, the current version. It is a more highly tuned, I guess, version of this. What it's got is it's got a more developed kicktail with a wider shape. It's got this chamfer on the top that helps you when the deck is turned over to get your foot underneath it.
Whoa, that's cool.
Yeah. Again, it's just the cutout acts as a handle. It acts as something to help you maneuver the deck when it's on the ground. And of course, it's something to help aid in controlling the flex characteristics of the deck. And then finally we have the mold in its current form, still based on the latest modifications we made over here. And what we're doing is we're just going through and we're testing each of the boards to see if we can come up with a final change list to make for the deck or for the press before we finalize it and try to make a concrete mold so that we can start churning them out and make some really cool, highly tuned product.
Cool.
So this whole genealogy, I mean, Bluefish was 2008, and this board was June of 2014.
Wow.
So, and there have been
countless boards in between.
Boards.
But these are the most reflective of the evolution of this particular design that have survived
or that haven't been sold. So yeah, I'm really excited. I mean, that was just a summary. There's a lot more that I could say,
but we're keeping it simple.
We're keeping it simple.
This is our introduction.
Yeah.
All right. This is Longboard Technology. Over and out.